You will be facing your former friend Willow Nightingale at All Out in a Chicago street fight.
Correct.
Uh, your last two street fight matches, if I have this correct, have been alongside her.
Correct.
Now you're going to be facing her. You're going against her. Uh, Talk to me about obviously you have some issues with her. There's this feud been going on, but how are you planning to adapt to this new dynamic, if that's the right way to put it? Like you're used to fighting with weapons with her on your side. Now you're going against her. So do you know what to expect? Do you think you're going to see something new?
The thing is that in AEW, those are my only two street fights that I've had. But they aren't the only two that I've ever had in my wrestling career. So there's a whole other side of me that no one is expecting to see. And I've seen a lot more of her in street fights than she has of me because she's been involved in others. And I think I'm the one coming in with a little bit more preparation and a little bit more element of surprise, if you will, because we've seen what she's done in street fights multiple times before, and some would say that's some good experience. But like I said, I've got some more untapped experience. So
It's kind of like a variation on the student teacher, like you I've taught you everything you know, but haven't taught you everything that I know. So
mhm. Yeah, I've got some secrets up my sleeve that I haven't shared because I haven't had to yet.
one thing that I do appreciate about I guess pro wrestling in general is all the surprises, especially like now on the internet. It's like so hard to keep things under wraps. But another element I think that your feud with Willow highlights is it seemed like for weeks, if not months, people were like, "Oh yeah, Kris is going to turn on her. Here's when it's going to happen. Here's how it's going to happen." Like it was always like people knew,
Mhm.
and the end result is you are feuding with her now. But
Mhm.
what kind of challenge does fans knowing, like, maybe not knowing the how, but they know the what is coming? What kind of challenge does that present for you as a performer?
I think the challenge it's not really um it's not really like my problem because people will, they think that they know everything. They expect that just because they came up with something in their head that what everything that we do is wrong if it's not what they expect it to be. And you're basically just setting yourself up for disappointment if you constantly try to predict everything and you constantly try to figure out what surprises are and whether it's like someone is making a surprise appearance or there's a new person debuting or just trying to predict what's going to happen with a story or whatever. And it's like you're going to be you're setting yourself up to hate everything and to be disappointed because you're not just appreciating it for what it is. And it's frustrating for us because then people say that we're bad wrestlers and that we're a bad product and that no one watches us, but it's like we're not the one that's telling you. Like if you are supposed to know, you will know.
Hmm.
So it's like I think again, it's not our problem because people are setting themselves up for disappointment. That's
Yeah.
the challenge. That it's like you're upset at us because you came up with this fantasy in your head of what it should be, and then if it's not your way, it's wrong. And it's like that's not how it works. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
And I think there's a big difference in, like, obviously there's like the backstage reports and news and rumors, like that's one side of it. But
Mm-hmm.
the actual story unfolding, like AEW's been really good at laying like putting some breadcrumbs out there. Like I know the inner circle, like there was a lot of callbacks when you go back and look at that stuff. I think, you know, your work, it maybe not as obvious, but like there are things that are going on that you're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. Like, like you and Stokely kind of working with each other. It was like, that's years of Stokely being Stokely. Like it's not
Yeah.
something it's not something obvious. It's we
Hmm.
expect that from him. So when he did it, it's like, hey, he's showing who he is.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's like the biggest takeaway. It's like if we want you to know, you will know. It will we will make it obvious for you because we want you to know. We're not trying to, you know, keep secrets as far as what you see on television.
Mhm.
That we want if I want you to see that I'm going to use a weapon, you're going to see it. If I want you to see that I am stabbing my former friend in the back, you are going to see it. But it is on my terms when I do it. So don't be upset with me or tell me that I don't know what I'm doing because it wasn't when or how you wanted it to be. Because I
Mhm.
don't know you. I don't know who you are. You don't write my life.
Mhm.
Leave me alone.
I've said this before, and somebody else just said it to me that yeah, it's great getting feedback, but like at the end of the day, if my boss is happy, and this is not just wrestling, like this is just, your job in general, like my boss
Hmm.
is happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So how, like what can you complain about?
Yeah.
I want to go back to Stokely real quick because obviously you guys are still working alongside of each other.
Yes.
Uh, is there something that you've learned from him that he'd maybe not take credit for, or maybe he would deny? Because he's usually, he usually likes the attention. He'll take the
Yeah.
spotlight. So is there something that he would maybe not want to take credit for?
I I don't think he's the type of person to deny being credited for something. I think he's very much a, yeah, no, this is me. I did this. And you know what? There's a level of respect to be had with someone who owns up and is not afraid to be like, yeah, no, that was all me. I did that. So
All right.
not everyone needs to be humble.
And he's certainly not. Uh, all right. And then another Stokely question. How often does he ask for uppies?
uh, I mean, you see them all on TV. There's none there's no backstage uppies happening where you don't hang out outside of work. So you see them all. Trust me.
You've never had to turn him down.
Yeah, it's in front of a crowd. But I have to. I have no choice. I can't upset him in front of everyone.
Mhm. It's kind of like you ever watch Scrubs?
No.
No, they did Eagle on the show. You'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I will.
Back to Willow very quickly. I don't remember the exact date, but obviously it was like at least a year ago. There's this video of you guys on a roller coaster together. It's going around again.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but is there any chance that you guys? Oh, it was National Roller Coaster Day. But
Yeah,
is
I
there
think we filmed that in like March
hmm,
last year.
is there any like you guys look like you're having fun? Obviously you have issues, but is there any chance that you guys patch things up? Is that something you want to do?
Right now, I don't see it for us, unfortunately. I've had too much taken from me uh to be able to forgive at this time. And we're going to settle that score in Chicago on Saturday. Maybe after Saturday, there's a chance of redemption. But for me right now, I need to be my own person, do my own thing. And I think this is it for a bit.
It's been fun to watch you evolve since you've been in AEW. You came in alien-esque and then more than a woman. You've been TBS champion.
Yes.
How do you describe this current iteration of Kris Statlander? Like if you could, if somebody's wondering like what this era is for you.
I'd say I'm still more than a woman because it's not just about, uh, it's not just about being more than other people. Being more than, or the whole more than a woman thing is because I always uh, exceed expectations and whatever goalposts people have for me, I do everything that I can to blow past them and, uh, really make a name for myself no matter what I do. And uh, that's just, it's not even whether I go by that moniker or not with the more than a woman thing, it's very much something that I implement into my life daily anyways, because I don't want to be just another girl. I'm going to be more than that, you
Mhm.
know?
If you had to pick a match that you've had in AEW as a whole, is there one that would uh that would put aside the, like those monikers and just all encompassing, like this is who I strive to be no matter what the gimmick is, so to speak?
hmm I'd say there's probably a few of those matches that I could name. Um, it's hard to pick just one because as much as there are some matches that I feel like really cemented who I am as a person, as a performer, as a wrestler, I feel like I still haven't had the one match yet that I'm like, this is, you need to watch this. This is the one where I made the statement that this is who I am. I feel like possibly Saturday at All Out
Mhm.
um could be potentially that match. But I feel like my match that I had with Britt Baker at All Out in 2021 is one. When I wrestled Jade and the second time, not the one where I beat her for the title, but when I defended the title against her, that could be another one. I wrestled Ruby Soho at All Out last year. That's another one. When I wrestled Ruby in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and uh, the crowd booed her out of the building because I had lost. Uh, that that could be another one for me. There's a lot of like defining moments that I feel like that I've had that really have proved that I'm worthy of my spot in the company. But I feel like I haven't had that one where I'm like, oh, she is the one. She is the girl. She is more than that girl, I should say.
It's kind of fun hearing reactions like that. You mentioned, like, you know, the booze because you didn't win. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're so far beyond, in most cases, beyond like traditional babyface and heel, but sometimes when you see stuff like that, it's like it's got to be rewarding because,
hmm
it just mean like whether, you're a good guy or a bad guy, like fans are behind you. Like that's a genuine reaction. It's not,
Yeah.
you know,
It's always nice to hear that that feedback almost in the moment, knowing that it's like, hey, I've done my job so well that these people want me to succeed. This whole arena of people want my success so bad that they are letting you know that I that it I they're just letting you know that they want me to be successful, and that's such a rewarding thing to know that I've done my job that well.
all right. My last question, I'll try to end it on a fun note. What is
Okay.
a fact that people don't know about you, or maybe you wish they would talk about more if they knew it, rather than all the stuff that's already out there? Is there something that you're proud of that you'd like them to talk about more?
Hmm. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people know my business pretty well. I've been pretty open about anything that people usually ask me about. Although I will say there was a question during an interview that I had earlier today that was the first time I ever got this question, and it was about my face paint. And um, when I switched from the alien to doing more than a woman, and I switched to just the two black lines,
Hmm.
it's a greater than symbol, and I don't think people have really ever caught on to that.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's a fun little fact that people didn't really know. I think people probably were just like, oh, it's just like two lines on her face, but it's supposed to, uh, emulate a greater
Like,
than symbol, which is synonymous with the more than a woman thing.
yeah,
So
I like that. I
yeah,
don't think I ever realized that.
it's not something that people really put together because it's like it's in a weird shape on my face. It doesn't sit perfectly,
Mhm.
but it's supposed to resemble a greater than symbol.
All right. Anything else you want to plug or promote before we get out of here? AEW All Out is this weekend. Anything
Mm-hmm.
else you want to get out there?
AEWTix.com, All Elite Wrestling, AEW on all social media platforms. Call me Kris Stat on social media platforms. Watch WrestleZone. Watch this guy plug your stuff. I think that's pretty much it.
I appreciate the plug. I don't
Hey, It's what I'm here for.
I like it. Like I said, All Out this Saturday. Kris and Willow are gonna battle it out in a street fight.
To the death. To the death.
I can't promote death. You can do that. But
Well, that's why I said it. That's why I said it.
we'll
Okay.
we'll we'll see how it all goes down on Saturday. Tune in however you watch pay-per-views. There's a bunch of places you can watch it online or on your TV. So I'm looking forward to the weekend and thanks for the time.
Thank you so much for having me.